Patient.
Okay.
Okay, we're recording. Hi, Sam. How are you feeling this week?
Oh, I guess about the same.
So we started you on medication last week, and we don't expect to see any great results from that. Maybe 2 weeks we'll see a little improvement, but have you seen any improvement?
I guess a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah. I mean, I at least can look at my baby now and not
well, good.
just think terrible things.
What do you mean when you say think terrible things?
Oh, it's hard to say out loud, but sometimes I would just look at her and think, what if you weren't here? What if, we stopped at 4? Maybe life wouldn't be so hard. Um, just things like that. And that's terrible. She's beautiful. She really puts joy in everybody's life that she enters, and I shouldn't feel that way. I'm her mom.
Do you ever feel like you're going to hurt her?
No, sometimes I think, maybe it's terrible to say. If she just didn't wake up, I just wouldn't have that burden. I just wouldn't have the extra stress. And I know that's terrible. It's not really how I feel. So where do these crazy thoughts come from? I love her, and I can't imagine life without her, but it's just so much more work with
Right.
this one.
You've got your hands full with all your girls.
Hmm.
You're very busy. Now, let me just see if I understand. You have thoughts about her, and those thoughts that you have are making you feel badly.
Hmm.
But you don't feel like you're going to act on anything or do anything to make it so that she doesn't wake up or hurt her in any way.
I know I couldn't do that.
Okay. All right. All right. Um, and so have you worked on um, any of any of your thinking about why you're sad or what's causing your feelings to come up, and what is what's the basis for the things, what makes you think badly?
I think it's just exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the fact that I feel like I let my husband down. We've tried so many times for a boy, and one more time, I didn't give him what he wanted. Um, I mean, I don't think he would ever say anything about it, but I know it's there. And I just wonder, what does he think of me as a mom? What does he think of me as a wife who can't give him what he wants? The house is a mess, and I can't even get the dishwasher loaded and run in a single day. It just seems to take 25 steps to do the simplest thing. And I just give up and I just go to bed. My brain is tired. My body is so tired.
Mm-hmm. If we could give the way you feel a name, we could label some of these things. What could we call them, do you think?
Hmm. I don't know. What are you talking about?
Well, let me give you an example.
Okay.
If you feel like you um, can't, that it's your responsibility to produce a boy child, and you haven't been able to do that, that maybe, and I'm not saying this at all, Sam, this is just an example, that would be that you're not living up to your expectations, you're a disappointment. That would be an example, or your house not being clean, that you're lazy or something like that. Okay, so if you
Yeah, I'm letting myself down. I'm letting my kids down. I can't even throw together a box of macaroni and cheese for dinner. Um, I feel like all around I'm a disappointment.
you're a disappointment. Okay, so you it's not really that you're, let's see if we can separate that thinking of being a disappointment from you, away from you. It's not really that you're a disappointment, it's that you have thoughts that make you think you're a disappointment. Does that make sense?
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, so let's see if we can kind of separate that thinking, because that thinking is kind of getting into your head and manipulating you and making you believe that you're a disappointment, because you're not a disappointment when you really think about it, right?
I don't know. I feel like I am.
Okay, well, have there been other things in your life that you've been successful at? I mean, you've raised all your other girls and
Yeah, I mean, like when I went to college, I did
right.
really well, but even that was a disappointment to my mom. She just always thought that I would go into nursing like she did, and I just couldn't do those things. So, I went into computers and she just didn't get it. So that's always been hanging over my head. I'm a disappointment to mom. I'm a disappointment to my husband. I'm a disappointment to my girls. And it's just hard to go on every day thinking you're not doing your potential. You're not doing what would make everybody else happy.
So, Sam, those are thoughts that you're having. Has your mother ever said to you, Sam, you're a disappointment because you weren't a nurse?
No, not really said it, but I just know that that's what she thinks.
You feel that she feels that way.
Hmm.
And your husband's never said, why can't you give me a boy?
No, I guess not.
You feel that you failed him, that you're a failure because you haven't met other people's expectations. So
Hmm.
I think what I'm trying to point out to you is that's more um, these little thinking things in your brain, disappointment, let's call it, is is sneaking up on you and inside your head telling you that you're a disappointment and trying to convince you that you're a disappointment. Does that make sense?
Hmm. Hmm.
So do you think instead of saying I'm a disappointment, you can you can look at it as though, oh, that disappointment is trying to creep in and convince me that I'm a disappointment.
Okay. Hmm.
Can you think about it? It's not an easy thing to do, but once you start to feel disappointed, you have to say, oh, there's that thought process going on again. And it's trying to make me feel like I've done disappointing things, but I'm not a disappointment. It's how I want you to maybe shift your thinking.
Okay, I can try.
Okay, it's not easy. The
Hmm.
other thing I would like you to do is I'd like you to go on your phone and do some meditating. Have you ever meditated before?
No, I'm not really even sure what to
No.
do.
Okay, so the reason why I'd like you to do that is because I'm trying to get you to focus on how you're feeling, and it's hard to. That's not an easy thing to do. But when you meditate, it will quiet your mind. It's not when you first start to meditate, your mind's going to have a million thoughts, and you'll have a busy little monkey mind. It's going to take a while, so I'm only going to ask you to do it for 5 minutes a day. And 5 minutes is going to seem like a long time, Sam, but I want you to just use your phone, get on your phone, and get um, meditation tapes, and they're by honest guys, and they're free. And you
Okay.
just do a 5 minute relaxation meditation every day. And
Hmm.
then the other thing I'd like you to do is on your phone, there's an app that's free called Habit Tracker, and just it won't haunt you, but every day you can just track that you did your 5 minutes of meditation. So it
Okay.
will help you to keep track of it because I know you're tired and you've got a lot going on and you might forget. And then and then gradually over time, this is going to help you to feel, oh, I'm feeling that disappointment voice coming. Yeah, I'm not a disappointment, but I feel those thoughts, and it will all fall in together and help you. So, are you showering and eating and cleaning the house at all or preparing meals?
I'm trying to keep it simple.
Yeah, good.
Um, it's it's hard to get the groceries in the house, and you know, and I don't want to feed the girls hot dogs all the time, but that just seems to be like the quickest and easiest, and it's some protein and
Mm-hmm.
you know, sometimes I feel like that's all I can do. And at least I fed them something.
Right.
We have cereal in the morning. Um, you know, I'm trying to keep it to one dish meal so I have fewer dishes to wash, and you know, I'm trying to do all the things that I put into practice with the other girls when they were babies.
Perfect. Great.
It just seems so much harder this time.
Boy, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. Your hormones are really acting up on you. Can you think of, like, that's a good example. You did one dish meals and simple things. Can you think over the week of other measures that you took when you had a little baby to take care of? And we can maybe talk about implementing them next week.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Sam. I can hear you
I'll
talk.
try to write some down, 'cause,
Oh,
you
you'll
know,
try.
most of the time I had a system before, and it just seems like I'm just so far from that right now.
That's okay. It'll come back. Don't worry. You know, you're having a tough time, and I think every week you're going to start to feel any better because the medication's going to start to take effect. Do you have any side effects, or you feel any bad effects of the medication?
No, I think the first few days I was a little sleepy when I first started taking it.
Okay.
I think I'm okay. You know, I really can't sleep any more than I already am. So
Right.
I don't think it's that bad.
Okay. All right, Sam. So we'll keep you on the medication. You'll do your meditation, and then you'll try to think about those little disappointment gremlins that come in and try to convince you that you're a disappointment because you're not. I mean, graduated from college, you've raised your other children, you work in computers, that's very difficult. And maybe we can next week talk about some other things that you've been successful at that you could
Okay.
think about when those thoughts come into your head.
Okay.
Okay? All right, so I'll see you next week, Sam.
All right. Thanks.
All right, have a nice 4th of July.
You too.
Mhm. Shut this off.